So boys, for this lesson I've just gone and written out our learning goal at the top of the page. It says I can use factors to mentally multiply two two-digit numbers. It's a bit wordy, so I want to take a minute to break it down. So basically, factors are any two numbers that multiply together to give you a specific number. So for instance, if I'm talking about the number 15, any two numbers that multiply together and the answer is 15, they are factors of 15. So some factors include 1 and 15, because 1 multiplied by 15 is 15. We've also got 5 multiplied by 3. They're all the ones that I can think of. I think that's it. So these numbers are factors of 15. Mentally multiply obviously means that you can do it in your head, so you shouldn't have to write down any long complicated working out. Similar to the associative property, when we use this factoring strategy, we're looking for how can we make our multiplication problems easier to do in our head. And just remember as well, in stepping stones, they talk about the product quite often. The product is just the answer of any multiplication problem. So the product of 1 multiplied by 15 is 15. The product of 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. So let's look at a problem and see if we can use factoring to mentally multiply. I'm going to start by looking at, and I'm literally just getting this example from the Stepping Stones book. Let's look at one such as 40 multiplied by 12. Now some of you might be bright enough, clever enough, have good enough multiplication practice to be able to do that in your head. I cannot, so I'm going to look at how I can use factoring to make it easier. So it works like this. We ask ourselves the question, 40 multiplied by 12 is going to be the exact same thing as, and instead of these two two-digit numbers, we substitute some factors. So, two factors of 40 that are going to be easy to mentally multiply are 4 and 10, because 4 times 10 gives me 40. And two factors of 12 that's going to make it easier to use in my head are, I might go for 2 and 6, because 2 times 6 equals 12. So right now in this one, if you remember back to the associative property, I'm thinking it's going to be really easy to multiply by 10, and it's going to be really easy to multiply by 2. And we know that in the associative property, you can multiply in any order. So 4 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 6 is going to be the same as if I shuffle them up and make them a little bit easier. So I'm going to instead do 6 multiplied by 4, then I'm going to multiply that by 2, then I'm going to multiply that by 10. I'm going to scroll down a bit here to give me some room. So we can start. 6 multiplied by 4 is 24. 24 multiplied by 2 is going to be 48. And 48 multiplied by 10 is going to be easy. Just add a 0. It's 480. So just like that, by using factors, I was able to do 40 multiplied by 12, top of my head like that. I used the factoring strategy, then I remembered what I knew about the associative property to make it even easier for me to do in my head. That's all you need to do. Sometimes you can't make it too easy because there's some weird numbers involved, but make it as simple as you can, and then you can do some side working out using another strategy to come up with your answer. Remember, in your maths at all times throughout the year, there's not going to be one simple step that you can use to solve everything. You're going to need to use your knowledge and use a wide variety of different strategies into your work. Let's look at one other quick one before we go. Let's do 35 multiplied by 14. So again, you need to think 35 multiplied by 14 is the same as what? And replace both of these numbers with factors. 35, I'm thinking straight away of 5 multiplied by 7, and 14, I'm thinking about 2 multiplied by 7. So I'm going to shuffle this up and put it in an order. I'm going to get my 7 times out of the way early because they're the ones I struggle with a bit. Then I'm going to have a crack at multiplying by 5. Then I'm going to have a crack at multiplying by 2. Let's see what we come up with. 7 by 7 is 49. 49 multiplied by 5. Holy moly, that is pretty hard to do. So instead I'm going to do some side working out. I'm going to do that over here, and I'm going to partition. I'm going to use the partial product strategy. 40 multiplied by 5, and 9 multiplied by 5. 4 by 5 is 20, with the extra 0 is 200. 9 by 5 is 45. Add them together and I get 245. So 49 times 5 is 245. And multiplied by 2 is going to be fairly simple. I'm going to do side working out to make sure I don't make any mistakes. add those two together, carry my 1, 8 and 9, 2 and 2 is 4. 35 multiplied by 14 is 490. Even though I had to do some side working out, even though it wasn't super duper reasonable for me to do it mentally, I still came up with the answer pretty quickly by using the factoring strategy. It makes it easier. It's that good. Good luck with it.